Okay, so I'm not sure if this is working, but we're going to try a game of Ara. So bear with me, this is the first time I've done this. My name's James. I've been watching Ara videos. There's a bunch of Aussies who are online playing, and what I thought I would do is set up a game
Genghis Khan,
as
brilliant soldier, ruthless politician, and founder of the Mongol Empire.
As the Byzantines. And
Irene Sarantapicana, Empress of the Byzantine Empire who condemned iconoclasm.
so the idea of the Byzantines would be to access the iconophile abilities, which is additional city security and wealth. So you can run a theocracy government and have that additional security from building altars in all of your cities. So we're going to try and use that with the religious abilities of Byzantines plus their war abilities. So we're going to see if we can run a kind of religious military game. So I think the purple, closest to purple, is really the way to go for the Byzantines. And for the setup, I think twin continents is good. So we would have 6 nations on each of the 2 main land masses. So hopefully we can spread our religion on our land mass. Let's randomize the seed. Everything else is going to be standard. So we're on Emperor. So let's jump in. So I've really enjoyed watching the videos. Lazy Gamer and some of the other videos. Raw Gaming. Those 2 in particular I've really enjoyed. So I thought, well, maybe I can give it a try. I wonder if that sound is going to be too...
Of kings and queens.
We'll find out.
Irene of Athens, you ascend to lead the Byzantines from...
Okay, so here is our start, and straight away I can see tundra. So it looks as though we are at the very, I would say, north of our continent at this stage. So we have a 3-hunt wild animal here, and we've got some rice and 2 lots of grapes. So probably that means there's going to be an early fermenting tech, which will delay us a little bit into the Bronze Age, but with wine available there, it's definitely worth picking that up. So we don't have any 2-hunt wild animals in a ring. So if we jump in, we're going to have to leave the feast on maximum wealth. And for our project, it will be, of course, a spearman first thing up. So our scout now really is looking for a 2-hunt feast. So if I move this way, I'm going to be able to open up 1, 2, 3 zones. And I really kind of want to be heading this way because I anticipate this area to the northwest is mostly going to be tundra. So I don't think there's much else to do. I think so we can just go ahead and end the turn. Yeah, okay, so we did get a cougar. And also there is a mandrake in a not exactly immediate area. It will take some time under 1.1.1 to grow those. It's only 2 regions away, but it will actually take quite a bit of time for Constantinopolis to get there. So that mandrake is not immediately in my mind as something to focus on in the short term. I mean, we'll be picking up herbalism anyway, as it's really an essential tech for early growth. So what I will do then is I will take that cougar. So it's 1 turn to move there and then 2 turns to the cougar. So by turn 5, the feast will be available. So what we can do is actually come in and drop the wealth for one of those. And so we will get a second feast made fairly quickly after the one from the cougar, but that's okay. So now technologies have come up. For me, it's a no-brainer initially. I want to know where horses are on the map for locating my first settled city. So to me, I would invariably take animal husbandry because that will reveal horses. So yeah, that's the way I like to do it, and then decide then where my first city might be placed to try and access horses for the Bronze Age. So we are good to go. Okay, so my scout's going to go over there and take 2 turns, so we can just move ahead. My warrior is still 5 turns to go, so that's all fine. Okay, so there's our first feast. So we can come in and plug that in. So that immediately jumps us up in terms of production, and you'll see. So the production screen is interesting because in the early game, the thing to think about is what's happening with waste. So here we have happiness that's going to go to 40. So at 41 there's no effect, but at 40 you lose 10% city production. Okay, so here's the city production menu, and you can see that it would be 11, but we lose 10%, which is 1.1. Okay, now that takes us to 9.9, but the way city production is calculated is everything below a whole number is rounded down. So in fact that 10% reduction is losing us 2/11ths. Yep, so we're losing nearly 19% from that happiness. So if we can get a jewelry going for our next amenity, we'll actually get 2 free production out of that because the waste will go. So you'll see that as we move ahead. Now with my spearmen here, normally what I'm going to do is look and see. So we've got 9 production. Yeah, so you can see here, this isn't actually showing me, this is showing me last turn. So we have 9 city production, so that will translate into 9 build production. So even though the spearman is saying 3 turns, it's actually not calculating correctly because you can see we're going to get 9. So in fact this spearman's going to finish in 2 turns, and it's going to finish precisely without waste. So I'm not going to spend the 27 gold to rush it, because in fact it's going to finish in 2 turns because of our production jumping up thanks to that feast. So and we see that when we roll the turn forward. Okay, so our scout is finished. So we are looking for city locations, but along the way we want to be picking up resource caches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to here, but I'll go via this zone, and that's going to open up another 2 zones here in the direction that I anticipate my next city is going to be. So we'll go ahead and advance the turn. Okay, so if we jump in, we should see that, yeah. So you see that our spearmen, in fact, even though it said 8, actually produced 9. And so what we have there is no overflow for our production. So in fact, the game is not allowing me to rush that because it's not necessary. So we saved 27 gold there by not kind of rushing the spearmen, just by noticing that actually the production was going to be 9 from our feast boosting it up. So that's kind of a good outcome. And you can see, in fact, we've got 125 food. So I can actually already go and queue up my settler because that will be ready next turn to start building. So that's all fine. Okay, so we've got another resource cache here. So I am going to just double back a little bit. It will reveal at least something, and I'll pick up this barrel here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and advance the turn. Okay, so Spearman has finished. So we want to go ahead and deploy them straight away, and they can start working on revealing more tiles, but also picking up hunts as they go. With the mustering system and the ability to redeploy units, Spearman gets injured, you can simply redeploy them, and when they're redeployed they train again and they come back at full health, and also they're effectively sort of trained back again in your home capital, so you can move them around a little bit more quickly using the redeploy feature. So it's a really handy thing to do, particularly in the early game with units where you don't care about their experience. You can see our other feast has been built, so we've got a decision here about whether we... So our settlers are queued up, and you can see we've got 9 turns, so it's 12, so we've got 12 turns to go, which is, quite a lot. So we will want to rush the settler. So it's just a question of whether we would remove one of this less efficient 3 gold for 25, and I think I will do that because I've got wild animals that I can hunt. So my objective is to make sure I've got at least a feast in inventory for when the city settles, and so that I can immediately put it in as the first amenity for my new city. So I'm going to just drop down, and now it's just improved slightly our gold. So let's go ahead and advance the turn. Okay, wow, so that's a really, really good cache. That's about as good as you could want to get in the early game. So what that will allow us to do is we can actually just plug in the accelerators. So you can see there that we've got 100 production from each of those. So we have 100 there, and then from our precious stones we have 200. So we have 300 production towards our jewels. The production cost from jewels is 500. So effectively we are going to get 2/3 of our jewels. So with a small amount of gold, we can basically get that first jewelry up. And I won't get an amenity on the first city growth, so I don't need to rush. But when the city grows you can see that from, if you go over here to the city tier pop-up bar, you can see that the city is currently at 444, 33 people, so it's going to grow in 2 turns. This is actually a little bit misleading, this formula here. I think it doesn't take into account certain things relating to amenities, or at least doesn't seem to. So when we grow, you can see we're not going to get an extra amenity. We'll get a claim, we'll get some research, and we'll get city production boosted, but we won't get an amenity. So there's not an awful rush to get that first jewelry up, because I'm not going to plug it in substitution for a feast. So yeah, I can stay on feast production if I want to. So what I'll do is I might just do that and just leave the feast in there for a little bit, and yeah. So go back to the map. So we are mustering our spearmen, which is great, but that was a really excellent cache to pick up early. So we want to start revealing the map. I will actually go across just so I can see what's happening on the coastline here. We don't have a lot of space, and yeah, look, so yeah, I mean, we've got big fish resources. So fish can feed into crafted meats in the butcher, and also salted fish once you unlock sailing. And you can see there's 3 zones there. It's always nice if it's 2 fish if there's 2 fish zones in one region, but still, revealing that is useful along the coast there. We don't have a lot of kind of width to our empire here with the mountain range, so we're going to possibly be needing to use some of those ocean tiles, early on. So it is important to sort of reveal those. Okay, so our spearman is up. I'm not going to take on the polar bear. It's just one feast you're going to get anyway, so I may as well just come down here. So what I'll do is I'm just going to reveal, again, more of these coast tiles, just to get a bit of an idea whether there might be precious stones, so shellfish. And if there were shellfish, that might influence, where my first expand is, which I'm going to get next turn on this city. Okay, so just checking in. So we're 10 turns on our settlers. Still going at 9, but we will... see, so we're going to jump up to 10, you can see. And again, we're still losing 2. So we're losing 2/12. So we're losing 17% from a -10 because of waste. Yeah, so it's really, really important to try and get that happiness above that so that you get effectively a 20% jump in production. Just from, in fact, if we could bump it by 1, if we could find some beer or something to plug in as a supply in here, or some wine, that would be tremendous. Obviously, eventually we can get wine online, but just in this early game, getting one more happiness will actually give us a 20% boost in city production, so it's quite meaningful in the early game. Okay, so our scout can go now and open up, and we're going to be able to get 3 tiles here. And our spearman is moving, so we can go ahead and advance the turn. We're getting close to animal husbandry, just 3 turns away. Research is slow in the early game, it's true, and I'm playing here on, I should mention, the tech cost is up by 50%. I prefer that on Emperor, because it just gives Act 1 about 210 turns, so it just allows time for things to develop and for you to sort of establish your empire. Whereas the normal speed, I find you just really don't quite have that time. So I prefer to play with a epic game speed, which adds 50% to the tech costs, and you can see them. You can see here they're all at 75, whereas normally they'd be at 50. So yeah. So let's go ahead and have a bit of a look. And yeah, wow. So look at this. We've got double shellfish. Okay, so this game is definitely going to be involving coastal activities, and the nice thing is that we are going to be able to, we have our claim, it's only a 3 size, so to get the rice, they're both 3s, yeah, look, that's not ideal, but I think to be able to get the rice and the farm, and we will be able to put a granary there to boost the production of both of those farms. So even though that's only 3, and the other thing we'll do is we will get access to that shellfish resource, which would provide very significant. We could get close to one precious stone per turn. So to constantly be accelerating our jewelry production. So 1 precious stone gives us 100 production, so 1/5. So we'll be building jewelry every 5 turns with both of those resources developed. So that's certainly something we will probably be looking at. This zone will likely to be my next unlock. Because it has the wood, and I will need that if I'm building farms and watchtowers and the like. There's no wood or materials from a sea zone, so it's probably not my next unlock, but it may well be the 3rd unlock, which is going to come at city tier 6 for my capital. So I will reluctantly take the 3 region zone. Again, it's not ideal, but I just think it has things that I really am going to need and will use. So I think I do go ahead and take that. Okay, so my scout has got another cache, so I'm we've got some nice soft juicy targets here, some 3 danger bears that my spearman is going to be able to get some practice in. So send my spearman down and starting to go hunting. So yeah, so production's boosted up to 10 now, and my settlers are now, yeah, so we're 8 turns away with 8 left over. So we'll definitely be buying out the last part of the production rather than have it being wasted. There's no overflow in this game, so you need to use the wealth to rush projects to make sure you're managing the best you can the use of your precious build production, or in fact not build production for settlers. It's just standard production because they're a unit. So just having a look at the feast situation, I've got 1 in inventory. I'm building 1 in 5, so I think that's okay. That'll give me a second. Yeah, so I'm going to keep that wealth accelerator on at this stage and roll forward. Okay, so we've claimed that region now, and so we've got our settlers. I might actually have to bring my scout back because I am actually going to want to put the granary down fairly soon. Okay, so it's something will actually have to bring my scout back, which is unfortunate, but we've got enough room at least to identify. I mean, we're going to have to stay on the coast here because, as you can see, there is actually 0 food in any of these regions. So, and even our coastal tiles are marginal in terms of food. So this is not a high food start. Sort of almost does make me wonder about what might be to the northwest, even if it's just 1 or 2 tiles. Or have I actually got this round the wrong way? In fact, maybe we are to the south, not to the north. Just looking at the way the snow line is developing and the way the food has just vanished, I think actually it might be that this is the southern end of our continent, not the northern end. Okay, so which means I will swing my scout back, and I'll probably build another spearman to just start to move up this ridge, this mountain ridge here. Because actually I think given that tundra and snow, this is not developing into being plains or grassland. So I think in fact we are at the south of this mountain, not at the north. So yeah, I got that. I misread what the tundra was doing there in terms of in relation to where I was. That's okay. So we've got 7 turns. We could rush from that 100. I think, yeah, we don't really have an obvious place to. I mean, food is going to be an issue, in fact. So I think we might wait, and in fact I think we might even bring our spearmen back to the northwest just to have a quick look and see whether there isn't a spot. So I mean, that 100 gold really put us ahead. It's only turn 11, so to get a first settler out on game turn 12 would be very quick. So I think I won't use all of the gold there to do that. We've got lots of time till we grow, and really that means the focus once this settler is out is on growth. So that is another reason to rush it, because we can then jump straight into grain. Although I haven't unlocked that technology as yet, so there is still things to do. Okay, so there's animal husbandry, and we got wood, which is always handy. So because we've got grain here, I am going to go grain storage straight away. And yeah, I think, I mean, there is a possibility I could go, the coastline might move up in towards some more productive land, but actually I think at the moment it might actually be northwest that we go. So I'm going to grab this resource cache and actually start heading back this way. What is our buyout cost? Okay, so we've got 6 turns, so it's going to be something like triple. The formula for buying out is basically 1/2 of the number of turns to complete times the remaining production. So we've got 6 turns to complete and we have 52, so it's 3 times 52, so it's 156 is going to be our buyout cost. Look, we're getting close, but just because I don't know where to send the settler, I'm going to just again wait. We're still way ahead of where we need to be, so I think it's, yeah, all right, okay, so we are actually definitely wanting to be northwest here. So, yep, this area will be very good for wood production, and I see there is a little bit of food coming through, I suppose, because there's a river. It's fresh water giving us that food, and there may well be a river source here that does add food. But this area is really just, I mean, you know, logging camps fine, but we can't grow realistically, at least beyond a certain limit, without some food in our cities. Obviously, grain store and feast can provide the food, but I think, yeah, I'd rather have some balance of food in my early cities. Okay, so we're going to grab the, I might just, while I'm here, I might just pick off that wolf. It's sufficient I'm there. It'll give me a little bit of extra food, you can see, coming through to get me up to my next settler or dwellings or apothecaries and so on. So, yeah, okay, right. So this is where we want to be. So I think now we will go ahead. Okay, we're at 4 turns, so it's going to be 2 times the remaining production is our buyout cost now. So remaining production is 32 and yeah, so 64. So that's much more manageable in terms of our gold situation. So we'll spend our 64. I'm going to bring our scout back now because I'm going to start to develop this region. So that is all fine. And our spearmen will, I think, head here because I can open up 1, 2, 3, 4 regions and really open out this area and just see. What I'm liking is this materials. I'm really liking this material. So this tile here potentially is quite attractive with 3 materials. So let's have a look and see. And yeah, wow. Okay, so this was absolutely the way to go. So we are built here. So options are a spearman or getting straight onto production, but just given that it's 17 turns, I want to get cracking on growing this city. So I'm going to throw a farm down and we're probably going to rush that farm to some way because we do have good supply of money. Now, when we grow, we're going to need to be ready with our amenity. So at the moment the feast situation is what we are going to be able to do also with the grain is plug that in. So we are just have 1 spare, so we have just enough on feasts. So I won't switch off yet, but I will do it fairly soon. So let's have a look and see what we can see. Yeah, right. Okay, so oops. So we have a 4 zone region here with 3 gold, and then we have a 4 zone with 2 gold. It's a little further away. A little further away, but it does give some room for these cities to expand. That's not so much of an issue in the early game, but I'm liking the access here to some really healthy stone resources. So we're going to have, for a military religious game, a really good access to sort of Bronze Age military. If you just look at the sort of significant materials deposits that are existing here. I am almost tempted to drop here. It's 4 zones also, and then to just for that extra material, I give up a little bit of food, which I'm okay about. So at this stage, I'm thinking here actually, because I can then go a farm region right here with four farms, or I could do something similar, well, really here because of the. I'm thinking actually this is the go because of that extra materials that we're going to get. I mean, 3 per turn from the start is really strong. So I'm going to, at this stage, jump in there. So let's just keep revealing in case something else shows up. We've got our farm queued, which is great. And we've got grain store, which will be pretty much done when the farm's done. So that all kind of works. Yeah, okay, right. So copper, which is nice. We might just grab that wolf while we're here. And in a case we got materials and 2 metal ingots. Okay, so that allows us again an access to early early swordsmen. So if we do meet someone, we're going to be quite a terror for the early and middle Bronze Age, particularly once our altars get up. So yeah, so far this is looking okay. There's very unlikely to be anybody to our south. So I suspect as we continue working this way, we're going to run into some of our neighbours. And I think that might be a problem for them as we get into the Bronze Age here. So I'm going to bring my scout back and actually heal up. I actually might go straight for the cache just to get that revealed. And we're 7 turns in. Still 16. Well, it won't quite be 16. We've got 757. We need to get to 1200. So we need. What is that? 1200 take 757. 443 divided by 38. So I've got 12 turns actually. Because of the feast, I think, helping out, which is why that's not displaying here in the sort of what the UI suggests might be the length of time to grow. And you can see what we're going to get there is that second amenity, which is going to be great because we're going to use it to grab jewelry and hit our happiness straight up to 55. So we're going to get a big jump from that. A 20% boost in production is basically what should happen. So yeah, lots of food here and lots of materials, not much wood, but wood is not going to be an issue, this game, I don't think, given what's happening down here. And in fact, our third city probably can be somewhere in this region to get access to these sea resources, and we can feed it with grain stores, which we're going to be able to produce. They give 30 food. Yep, so we're going to be able to feed it with grain stores and obviously with fish and with our feasts. So and with bread too. So we're going to be in a position to be able to sustain, level 6, level 7 city here before food becomes really an issue. But still, I think it was the best to go to kind of come and open up this area here. Okay, so we've got an event. This will be
no older
lithic
than
tools.
16 enters your court, springing with excitement. He explains that he and his friends were climbing trees, and while sitting atop a giant oak, he spotted a raised and unnaturally round hill and smoke, as though from a campfire rising in the distance.
So we're going to take the lithic tools and the
safely
baskets.
Investigate.
So if we now jump into our capital, we can plug that in. So just so we don't forget, we might go into the national economy screen for our great hearth, and we'll just give it some instructions about putting in rope lithic tools. That'll do for starters. Okay. so we are 5 turns, 45 to go. So it's 2.5 times 45, so it's going to be 90, about 112. Yeah, I think I might make 1 turn, and then I think I will rush that. It's a bit cheaper every turn that it's closer to being produced, so yeah, it becomes much more affordable. Let's go here. Okay, so we found a tribe. They're unfriendly, but unfriendly is okay. They won't attack us. And there's Dedzena. So of course we're going to plug up. Will we? Yeah, because we're going to take the happiness boost. So you'll see immediately the happiness boost. So again, we're losing 1, but with our happiness boost, that we'll be able to deal with that. So yeah, and for production here, we really want to get a dwelling. So it's a lot of turns, but we can put some money into it as it gets closer, and we will get, as I said, a production boost when we take the happiness buff for our first city. I want the city to be self-sustaining, so we will go with food. It's 1 in 10. There's no feasts available. But everyone's self-sufficient on feast now. So I'm going to jump to food, and when the grain farm is built, we will get a boost here, and we'll be able to use grain. So here's our, and you can see again now we've got 35 left, which would be 4 turns, but really half would be wasted. So by spending the money, we save that wasted production, which would happen on the 4th turn. So we're saving 5 production and 4 turns. So that's the way to think about it, and it's costing us 70. It's a lot, but I do need to sort of crack on. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to immediately queue up another farm, because these farms will boost each other, particularly with this high yield area. So we don't have the ability to build a granary straight away, so a second farm is just totally fine. And we've got the event.
Founders of your nation's newest city look to you
happiness
for
a second city, and you'll see that straight away. Yeah, so we get production at standard, so we don't have any waste here, and we're doing 3, and so our dwelling has, it's 25 turns to be built. Now we'll be able to put baskets in there, so that will boost our production, to 4, and then off we go. So I think the earliest the happiness boost is the go for that first one, in my opinion.
Okay, here's our first. In confusion. A local tribe has provided 2 stories of their origin, but your scholars question the veracity of both. The first founding myth
tells timber or materials. Let's look. Look, neither are great. But materials is just doing a little bit better because of that 3 material zone, and so I think I will go ahead and take the hit on materials for the prestige and just getting my relationship back. Tribes joining you in the early game is really quite powerful, so it's worth, if you can, picking up those events. Okay, so now we will keep going. Let's move up here, it's going to reveal the most. Where's our scout? Oh, he's nearly back. So, very good. We've got our farm built, building next turn, and then we're away. Okay. So we do have a wild animal, which is good because we're really at the limit on feasts. And you can see this mountain range is really constraining this part of the continent. So it's not so bad because it kind of narrows the approach that any neighbour could take, unless there is a mountain pass here that there could be. And so probably I'm going to need to send my scout just to make sure there isn't a mountain pass to go through the other side, the western side of the continent there. But here I think I will grab the cougar, and so at least that will get us a feast. So our granary is built. Did we get a... No, we didn't. Okay, so we've got Not quite one per turn, but when our second farm goes up, that will hit one per turn, which is obviously what you need exactly to supply the granary. And the granary itself will boost both farms. So we're going to have some surplus that we can use for accelerating our feasts. So yeah, just going back to Constantinople, we've only got 10 turns to get that jewelry going. It's not quite time yet, but we will need to kind of look at that fairly soon. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so some food, always handy for dwellings and your next settle. Okay, so I think now the trick is to come over here. I might heal up just for a little bit. And yeah. Okay. Okay, and there is grain storage. Okay, so now we have we have one neighbour here. It looks like, could that be India? India doesn't get on with anyone, and no one really gets on with Ashoka either, so that's okay, that's alright. Yeah, so even with that said, I think really the thing to reveal here is going to be either to take fermenting for the early happiness buff, and it's both as a supply in Constantinopolis and as obviously an amenity, and obviously there's also herbalism with the mandrake, although not immediately available, although our third city might end up coming down here. So herbalism is good for science and for city growth. So at the moment on expert, you can see our city growth is at, so it's minus 25%. Sorry, yeah, it's minus 25%. So if we look at our growth, it's costing us 14 people. It doesn't sound like a lot, but we're only growing at 54. And the farm is slightly offsetting that. So actually getting that growth, that health bar back towards kind of the middle is really key to the harder levels in really getting your growth up. It's very hard to grow your city sustainably with only 30 city health. So with all that said, it's a tricky one as to whether we take fermenting off the bat. I think we don't. I think let's just see whether there's some tea leaves. I'm going to take herbalism here. So, yeah. Okay, so we've got our farm. We could rush that, but I'm not going to do it yet because it's nearly all of our gold. And so let's advance the turn. Okay, we took a whack, you see, from that cougar. I'm going to go and meet Ashoka just to let him know that we're around. And how much health have I got? I've got 25, so I'm actually just going to pick this up on the way. Very soon I will reform the spearmen, and a new unit will train back in Dudzene or Constantinopolis. Okay, so our settler scout's probably okay to go again. I want to reveal here just to see, as I said, whether there isn't a mountain pass. So let's send our scout off doing that. We've got some furs. Furs are great for the trading post, so we'll be making use of those, running them through the tannery to get that boost into leather, so that we can maximise those hard to find or hard to come by furs. Okay, I think we just can go ahead. Okay, so there's crafting complete, and we now I think have a spare. Yeah, so in fact we're going to grow fairly soon, so I'm going to jump over to jewellery, and that's going to grow in 3 turns. Hopefully I haven't left it too late. The farm's done in 4, so I'm going to jump on the farm right now, and then we'll go straight into that granary. So next turn. Okay. So we're idle, so let's get the granary up. And you can see now that the farm production, if we go here, has gone to 100. So you can see that the farms are boosting each other's production, and then we're getting a really nice multiplier because of the region yield. So it's the base production, and then we add 400%. So at exactly 100, we are, I believe it's 100 production. Yeah, so we're now precisely one per turn, which is what we need for the granary. And anything we're producing now is going to be surplus. So if we go and look, yeah, we've got 3. So we can, until our granary is built, we've kind of got a free opportunity to just throw that in. And yeah, look at that. So we get extra production towards our feast, and it's really costing us nothing. And so yeah, we should definitely do that, so that because we've obviously now only producing in one city, so we need to keep that. And we really need to hunt a few more animals because we're a little low. Rankings are up, and we will be at the bottom. We don't know where India is, but once we reveal them, if it is India. Oh, hello. Ah. Oh wow. Okay, so in fact where are we? We are really in our own little kind of pocket here. So, okay, we're not going to be meeting them because we can't get over there and they can't come to us. Okay, so let's just come back, and then I think we will disband this guy and get him retrained as a fresh unit. So, Byzantium is going to grow, which is great, and it's not going to hit its happiness, that first growth, and so we'll just get some extra resources really when that happens. So let's keep moving. So we've got a claim. Now, what to do? Oh, right. So with our grain store online, we can feed Byzantium with food supply. So I'm actually tempted to go heavier into materials of gold. Goodness me. Frankincense. Wow. This is... Oh. I mean, the standard play would be to get a farm zone and to whack out 4 farms, but we don't have really the wood. We really don't have the wood to be going heavily into farms. Every farm we build takes 1 timber, and so Byzantium isn't going to be contributing anything to the timber situation. So really, we don't have the wood to be jumping into that strategy. So that makes me think if we're not going to go farms, there's not really any point in jumping on to Amasya here. I mean, the Factos, I mean, that's a pretty good zone. But again, we're not really going to need the growth, I don't think, because we're going to get it through other means. So I'm actually looking at these, what are they, desert? What are they? Oh, xeric shrubland. So these shrubland regions, they're actually irrigated because they've got rivers. So they're giving us 2 food. A 2 food shrubland is really kind of as good as it gets. And you can see, I mean, so here we get, I mean, straight gold. Or precious stones when we can build a stone pit. Lombardia has more materials. I'm probably thinking it's one of these 2. I mean, really there's no wrong answer here. I think, to be honest, the extra... I mean, we're not short on materials. So why don't we just lean a little bit into the gold? Yeah, let me take this one. we could possibly build a workshop here and go that way. Okay, so everything's revealed. I would say it's time to reform here. So, and then more tundra, which is fine. So let's go here. And then what's happening in Constantinople? We have production of 11 now. Oh, because we're going to grow. Yeah, we're going to grow a tier. And how is our jewelry's ready? Oh, sorry, no, it's not. Oh. Okay, I'm going to spend. Yeah, I'm going to spend the gold. Yeah, because I want it to be immediately plugged in. That's going to do really good things for our production. I think effectively we'll go to 11, but then this loss of 2 will get eliminated. So we're actually going to we're going to grow next turn to 13. So we've had a 30% jump is what will be the result of all that, with that early cash that gave us those accelerants. So that's really, really good. So let's advance the turn. So when we can throw in baskets, we get 12, but we can do better than that. Yeah, there you go. So no more waste, and we actually jump another 2. So now we're at 13. 13 is much more likely to get us moving along at a clip. You can see here that, yeah, we're actually just a tear over 6 turns now to get that granary built. And we have our spearmen, so let's get our spearmen back on the road. And probably we need to come down here, don't we? Realistically, we need another one, so I think I will deploy him in Constantinople. So that's all looking really good. We don't need as fast as that. We only need every 10 turns. Okay, so that's 29, so that's not going to be enough. So we're going to have to just spend a little bit here. Probably going to have to leave that on for, well, probably 4 turns, I'd say. We're getting 16. Yeah, so it's probably 4 turns to leave the jewellery on. So let's see what we want to do here. We've got a choice with Amorian. It's 1 gold per 7, or it's per 38. So it's really not anything. I think I'd probably just take the gold. I mean, until we can build a stone pit, that's not going to be productive for us. But once a stone pit gets down, it'll really start moving things along. How are we in Dirdzene? So yeah, so Derdzene's up to 4 production. So you can see that is, we're down at 12, 13 turns. So we will be able to buy that out, but not yet. It's far too expensive to, it'd be 6.5 times the remaining production at 13 turns to go. So let's advance the turn. There's our scout. Oh, we have yeah, there is a mountain pass, in fact. Okay. So, interesting. Let's take the cache, and got a lot of animals to hunt here, and we probably are going to need another spearman to head this way and just see exactly what is there, if in fact there is a way to get out of this really quite significant mountain range that we're effectively protected by. So and you can see that we've got our jewellery. Health is our issue, but we are building a granary, and granaries will give you +5 health. So we'll go, in fact, that will take us from enough to get us over from -25 to only -10. So it'll actually do quite a lot. Sort of a 15% reduction in our health penalty. Okay, so I think we're going to go and just get our feasts up because they are still quite low. As I said, we should have plugged in. Yeah, we have. So you can see our production boosting as the production of Constantinople boosted. So that's all doing okay. We're still alright with all that. So excellent. So let's. We want to buy out. What have we got here? 132? No, not yet. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, we've been very lucky with our resource caches. So here's a codex. So we can do two things with that. We can build a missionary, but we can, or train a missionary, but we can also plug it in for city knowledge. Yeah. And so that again will make quite a difference because we are losing 3 knowledge. And knowledge rounds up. So if we plug that in, we'd actually get +2 city knowledge. Obviously at the expense of one of these other things. So that codex might well be used at some stage. Now we're at 80. We're going to have overflow. Yeah, we will because we'll be 39. I mean, there's no way we're going to allow a whole turn to go by with 12 wasted. So we are buying out, but I think we just wait one more turn. Okay, so our scout really does need to just get in here and see what's going on. Okay, there's herbalism. And again, there's still no great rush for archery, so we can probably grab. Gee, we're low on wood, so we might grab rope making. We might grab rope making now, and then fermenting, and possibly even wait for archery to the end. We just don't need it with this sort of setup. So actually, I think I do need to go and grab that. So I will build. Yeah, so we're at 40 now. So yeah, so 1326. So we're saving 12 production and 3 turns, and it's costing us 40 gold. So that is a good deal. So we're going to take that. I think we can come off. Oh yeah, so we have jewelry, and so we can wait now. In fact, we could possibly even just switch back to feasts, because there's really no point at 1 every 32 turns. We've got jewelry plugged in for 16 turns, so we don't have to go crazy in Constantinople. Okay, Zerzine, we can rush. That's something we should probably do, I think. By rushing Dirzine's dwelling, we get straight away another production. So we go from 4 to 5, so that is a 25% increase. So that is worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Constantinople is idle. You know, I'd love to get the apothecary here, but again, because that city knowledge is going to be worth, 20% as a boost. But I think just a really quick spearman is the go, and then we'll get that out. So now taking that grain, so we need to be careful here about running out of grain. So we're going to have to. We're at 1.6, which is pretty good. So in 10 turns we'll deplete it. So we can leave it on for a little bit, and maybe we can get away with it. So that granary now, if you look at what it's doing, we're now at 161 production in that farm. So you can see the granary adds half of the region yield. Yep, so it's a plus. The region's adding 400% because there's 4 food. So the granary adds half of that. So effectively the granary gives half a farm to every farm. It's not quite half a farm because you don't get these harvest production base boosts, but more or less a granary gives you half a farm to every farm. So we're almost even by having the granary boosting these two farms rather than having a farm. And of course what we get in addition is we get the ability to craft grain stores. So I think it is, it's a win here to have the granary rather than, a third farm in this region, in my view. Okay, so I'm going to knock that out of the way, which is good. And then perhaps we send the scout north, and then we send our next unit. It's going to be ready in 4 turns. It's 52, so it's pretty close. We might not even need to buy that out because we're not going to be wasting much production at all. Just 2 would be wasted, which you may not need to spend. Our gold is actually running a bit low now, so we might just sit there for the 4 turns and just suck that up. Okay, so there's the dwelling. So what we can do is come in and chuck that basket in and then bang. Yeah, we're at 5. The dwelling gives a 3% boost, but as you can see that will be consumed by waste until our base production gets to 34, and then the 3% all by itself would actually add 1. So we're a long ways from being at 34, so that dwelling is, in terms of the production boost at the moment, it's not contributing anything at all. So if we go to our economy screen, we may as well just, because we know we're going to be using baskets, so let's just tell every dwelling as soon as you're built, just load up a basket so we don't forget. Okay, so now in Derzine, normally this would be the time to build a farm, but because we're not going to have farms in this region, and we don't have the technology yet, we don't know how to build, so probably we would be best to put either a workshop or an apothecary down. I mean, either is fine. And the apothecary gives health, which a granary would give also, but I'm not going to put a granary in this region. I'm going to wait to put one there where it can boost production from those farms, or actually possibly from these farms. So I think the apothecary is the go here, because we're not getting a lot of production out of the work. We're really not getting much city production. So I think really it's passive benefits that we're looking for. So let's throw an apothecary down. So we took a bit of damage there. I think we might just go and see if there is anything this way. Okay, we've got an edge.
As you walk the simple paths of your capital.
Okay, so if we can give up the timber, we really can't. Yeah, so it's going to be the food. If you're in the position to give up the timber, 2 relationship is great, but we're really not. So let's just give up the food, and at least we are just 2 away from having them join us. Oh, I see there's some tea up there too, which is quite useful. Let's move here. Okay, so they got 2 left. You can see that there's not much benefit here to buy out. It's 24 production remaining, so it's going to cost us 48. Sorry, it's going to cost us 24. Yeah. I mean, we don't save any production really. I mean, we don't have production wasted if we don't do this. Next turn, it's on. 11 of it gets used, so. I think given where our gold is, it's okay. Oh, we've only got 3 turns left too. Let's just see where we are. Oops. We need to... Or do we have a jewel? Oh yeah, we're okay. We've got jewelry. I think we might... Let's see with our feast here. What I might do is just... Oh no, we're still alright. Yeah, we're still okay at 1.6, so that's all right. We can keep that going for a little bit longer. So let's advance the turn. Okay, we've got an event from...
As your emissaries enter the settlement, a blacksmith from the tribe inspects their weapons with...
And normally I would always take the swordsman here, but they're so close to joining us that, I mean, we have the materials. Materials is not an issue. So I said normally I would almost always take the spearman, but I've got no neighbours. I've got metal ingots, so I can make my own spearman in the Bronze Age when I get bronze working. And I think, yeah, I think this one actually, yeah, because now they're at Grateful, so we're only one relationship away from them joining our empire. Things are opening up here, so yeah, okay, this is interesting. Okay, so let us send the scout. Some options, don't we? I think we will. We're actually going to send the scout. So there's our spearman, so you can see, yeah, not really much wasted production, so you can live with that. Yeah, you know. So I think I'm okay with the decision to save our gold, and we did, I think, pick up some gold in. Yeah. Oh, we got a precious stone. So we've been very fortunate on our jewellery production here, so we can chuck that in. Yeah, that's magnificent. So that's 5 turns with no gold. Obviously it won't be because we're, yeah, it won't be 5 turns eventually, but we're, you know, every precious stone or precious metal really helps. It's 5 of them and you get a whole jewellery. Oh, another tribe. And they are neutral, which is fine. So it looks like this might end in a peninsula here, but let's have a look this way. And we need to deploy. And then I think we are ready for an acceptor. So let's queue that up. Serves out it's fine.
Your innately decorated package with an attached scroll from a tribal leader sits on your desk. It reads, "Your people are welcome to attend our tribe's harvest festival. If you choose to attend, please distribute the information in this scroll that explains our rules and customs for celebration."
So 5% build production in our capital for 20 turns. If we look at what that will actually give us, so let's pull up our settlers. Yeah, so that will give us 5% of 10, which is 0.5, which will round out to 0. So in fact, that benefit is all going to go to waste, literally. So there is no benefit whatever for those 20 turns unless we can get our build production to 20, and then the 5% will add 1. So effectively that gives us nothing at all in exchange for the relationship hit. Dropping 5% knowledge in all cities, if we look, okay, so that's not going to hurt us at all in Constantinople. Okay, so that won't hurt us at all at our current city tiers, so for roughly 14 and roughly 9 turns. So that is an option if we want to think about taking that, because effectively that's just going to give us free relationship with this tribe. But the one I'm interested in, again for the same reason, is that, I mean, losing production isn't the same as gaining it, because you'll lose it in the rounding. So we will probably take production in all cities here. But 15 furs is a lot. And the thing about furs is, if you take the leatherworking tech in the Bronze Age, which is a very cheap tech, it's, I think, a half cost technology, leatherworking. So that allows you to build a tannery, and for every tannery you can build, one fur becomes 1.7 leather. So effectively what I'm looking at, when I see 15, I'm seeing 15 times 1.7. So I'm seeing 25, oops, 15 times 1.7. Yeah, I'm seeing 25 leather to be fed through a trading post, okay? And leather through a trading post, 2.5 leather gives you a trade good. So what that basically is giving me is 10 trade goods, okay? Trade goods is an incredibly powerful amenity in the early game, in the Bronze Age. Okay, so it's really the most powerful amenity until you get to the Iron Age, when hospitality and textiles open up for the garments and for the gourmet meals. So this is offering me 10 trade goods in exchange for a hit to production for sure, but only for 10 turns. So I'm going to take that, and yeah, and we'll see if we go back to Constantinople. We've probably taken a hit of 1 because of waste. Yeah, you'll see it. And yeah, so we've taken a hit of 1 from the event, and for 10 turns we're going to effectively cop 1 production for 10 turns, and similarly here in Dirty, unfortunately, which does suck, because we're going to lose 20% production. But I think for 10 trade goods, it is actually worth it. So yeah, that's all we've done. Okay, so yeah, there is a peninsula. I think that could be a city site. Let's have a look and see. We're going to reveal 1, 2, 3, 4 coastal tiles. Now that's actually there's probably enough food there potentially to have a city that's going to be our kind of wood, that kind of sawmill zone, if you like, for our empire. So where are we with cuisine? So obviously everything's going to be a bit slower now. We've taken that hit to get the furs, and there they are. Look, 23 beautiful furs. So they're ready to be run through our tannery when we get that technology. Okay, so here is our second spearman, and we're going to head through this mountain pass and see what we can see. Settlers have queued up. 7 turns on that. Yeah, so we're back to 23, but that's okay. Oh, somehow missed that catch. And we nearly got rope making, which is good. Okay, so nothing. All right, let's keep moving. Okay, we are going to pull fermenting now. This is very late to get archery, but there's no one around, so yeah, don't really need it. Settlers coming along. Maybe we plug in wealth just so we don't forget. We'll give it 3 turns. Okay, some wood, which we badly need. Okay. We're going to get 7 turns, we're going to get another claim. Settlers getting close. Don't quite want to push it out yet, but nearly. One more turn, we can drop the jewelry, drop the accelerator. Save us 10 gold per turn. Okay. All right, yeah. So we are really just on our lonesome. Here's our crafting. to be reminded of that. And yeah, we go back to 32 turns, and I think we go ahead now. Got 1224, so we're going to be wasting 8 on that third turn. I think 42 is okay to get that settler out. I'm not quite sure where we're going to send it, but I think it's important to have it out there. We can worry about where it's going to go. Alright, so now we go through the pass. Okay, there's foxes. Foxes is the most productive fur resource. So that's actually quite important for having productive trade posts. And also, oh, we have met someone. It's the Italians. They're probably not going to like us, given that we are everything that they are not, more or less.
An unfamiliar nation
really,
emerges.
Really don't like us. Okay, so we're unlikely to be trading with these guys, but it's such a narrow front. I think we should forward settle on them. I think they are going to be our first Bronze Age. Yeah, I think that is likely to be. What's the wood? The wood's not bad, so we can. I think we're all right to do that. You know, there's enough wood here, and we've got tea for growth. We don't have a source of iron. We don't have a source of ingots. That might have been one reason why we could have taken those spearmen, but yeah. Well, we are going to be able to build some swordsmen, because I think we did pick up those 2 ingots, but yeah, I think we are not going to be trading those with anybody, and certainly the Italians aren't going to be trading with us. Okay, so here's our city. I'm thinking that we do need to come and forward settle on these guys. And look at that. 1, 2, 3, a 4 region. I'm inclined to go somewhere where... there are only 2. I was going to say... Oh, maybe... I mean, that isn't that bad. 3 wood is what I'm liking. But anyway, we can decide that in due course. I think the first thing to do is get up there. Okay, so we can hit... Now one option is we can jump. I mean, normally I would take the grain store here. It's going to get our growth to 67. I think that's more important. The other option is jewellery. Gives +2 production. Effectively overcomes party crashes completely. It means it's a I mean, we do have a little bit of waste from it, but it's not... The waste from it is actually less, you can see. So we get 7 production out of that. Another option, I guess, is baskets gives us 6. And because we don't really have accelerants for the jewels, perhaps that's better. Or the other option is we throw the grain store in there, and that's going to significantly boost our next claim, the time for our next claim. Yeah, and with the apothecary building, yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, one option is you throw in the jewels to get the apothecary done, and then switch to grain store. You know what? I think that's actually probably the go. Or throw in the baskets. We've got some gold. Let's throw in. Yeah, so that is going to really zip along our apothecary. And then once the apothecary grows, it's going to give us city health. So our city health is going to go from -25% down to only -10. So we're going to get a kind of growth boost, a growth dividend, if you like, from the apothecary. And again, the fewer turns there is, the cheaper that buyout cost becomes. So I don't mind that, just so long as Constantinople isn't going to lose. Okay, so we got 4 turns to... So what happens if we plug in... okay, we're at 5. Well, that's okay, I think. We can do that. So let's plug that in and then we'll go again. Alright. So what are we going to build here now? I mean, actually a logging camp is an option. Just because our wood is so low. No, you know what? We actually need the science, so let's grab that. And yeah, we can annihilate them if we want to, but we don't do that just yet. We do want to grab that resource cache before they do. Okay, so let's go hunting. More furs. More furs is always good. Yeah, so 10 turns to that apothecary. I think that is the go, because basically, yeah, look at that. We will have almost no waste, and in 10 turns the jewel will be done, and we can jump, and you'll see the growth really shoot up when we get that plus 30, but without the drag from the city health. So I think that actually is really the way to go. So yeah, happy with that. You know, getting to 70 happiness, you know, really makes a difference. You know, you can see we're getting pushed up. We still have waste, but still it's really helping us overcome the the whack that we took from the fur event. But look at our furs. We got 24 times 1.7. Yep. So we're now well on the way to being able to have a good supply. The other thing is fermenting, when that comes through. But let's one step at a time. Okay. So we're not going to be hunting that. Let's just keep revealing the map. And okay. Hello. Yeah, there's a meteorite. Okay, that for our Bronze Age push, that might be. Well, let's see, because we don't have horses, so we're really going to need something to give us some. Okay, there's a wheel, so that will have automatically dropped into. Yep. Okay, we're 2 turns. Oh, we've caught up, so perfect. So the jewelry is going to be fine. We're going to have apothecary here in 8 turns and 1 in 9. So we're going to have a lot more science and a lot more city health very soon, and those things are good. Let's have a sneak peek. We're not going to be able to see much, but I think we are going to be able to see the city border here. That dotted line shows the outline of the city centre, so we'll get a bit of a view as to we can know anyway, I suppose. We go and talk to them. Yeah, Milano and Barletta, so I'm assuming... Oh, they've been at war. Interesting. Okay. So they're actually... What's their military strength? Oops. Info, standings. Oh! Okay. Okay, they are really weak. Alright. Okay, so this is going to be quite an early Bronze Age push against the Italians, I would say. So that is looking quite possible. Okay. Yeah, let's grab another piece. What have we got going in here? We've got the apothecary. Yeah. 7 production. It's not too bad. So our knowledge is going to jump. Probably it'll be around 15 when they're built, and we'll be growing a lot faster as well. So it's going to be all good. I think early herbalism is really important in this game. Fermenting. do have to, we can't not pick up archery. Pottery we can skip because we can get the ceramics at masonry, yeah, but we can't not pick up archery. So really that's a must do. Okay, so we've got a claim. But I think with our wood situation, we've got a 5-zone region here that has 3 wood. We don't have food, but we do have the passive food from the 2 regions. So there's no point, I think, at this stage getting those. We're just not going to have the wood to develop our economy if we grab the shellfish now. So I think it really has to be this region, and it does give us access on the next claim to the mandrake if we want it. So let's grab that. That's going to do wonders for our wood. Jewelry's going to be exhausted in 1 turn, but that is okay because we're going to build jewelry in 1 turn. So that is all fine. So let us go and have a look at who you are. I think you are going to be the 2nd city, which is just fine. Okay. Okay, so we've run out of grain because I stupidly left. So we need to pull that. Yeah, we need to pull that out. It needs to have it before it adds it. So that's why it said we'd run out, but there's 2. So do we need now to think about, yeah, we probably do actually need to, yeah, throw some money at our feast production. It's quite low. And we've got another city that's going to want to be fed with feasts. Okay, we've got an event.
Prestigious nation requires a majestic
so
residence for its leader.
AI to that, so that's just free prestige for them.
Scholars
Okay,
from a nearby
Gangra, look.
tribe hurriedly seek audience with you to beg for your help. Their latest works and studies are being decried as magic and an affront to the spirits which protect their people from peril. They disagree and believe there are those in power within the tribe that would support their work, but refuse to come out of the shadows without your support to their claim.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not one where we want to give them the relationship because 10 happiness for 30 turns in all cities. Even though there's a 10-turn hit to knowledge, that's going to wipe out the benefits of our apothecary. The production boost, we're going to go from 70 to 80 in our 2nd city. I just can't give that up. So I hate to do it in some ways because the tribe would join us, and who knows what we might get. But given that they'll be joining into Constantinople, okay, and it's not bad, but I think really I have to take I got to take the 30 turns worth of happiness. So yeah, wow, okay, that really whacked our research, but yeah, so you can see, okay, we got 1, and Derzine, they're at 80, so now they're at 9. Okay, so they got 2. I mean, look at that 50% boost. It's actually +3. So that is amazing for an early city to have 3 extra production, like +50%. So that's why you take it. And yeah, okay, but the apothecary is now, zipping along. It's calculating 6 turns, but actually at 9, it is. Oh, it is 5. It is 5.5 turns. So it is 6 turns to go here, and in Constantinopolis, it's 5 turns. So 15 production is a nice place to be again, and that knowledge hit will wear off. It was a big one, probably bigger than I thought it would be, but Okay, there's Barletta. Yeah, alright. So no archers. And yeah, okay. So War of Expansion for Barletta would be okay, even a skirmish. We're gonna be, if we settle here, then we're only one claim for being adjacent. Perhaps we don't, because we don't. Yeah, we probably don't need to do that. I think we might just allow them to grow. So I think I'm probably going to settle closest. Let's have a look at what the suggestion is. I'm not going to go over there. Game still thinks settling there, but I mean, I do like the wood. I do like the wood. Of course, that means I can put a 4-farm region here and really maximise the... Yeah, I'm going to take that. That puts me a bit closer to the Italians, but kind of not scared of them. So, yeah, let's have a look and see what's on the coast. Might bring back this... Well, we've got all this hunting we can do, I guess. We're going to have a lot of fur by the time we get those tanneries up and running. Okay, I think we can end the turn. Okay, so... They've fortified, have they? What got built here, anything? It's really just early days, isn't it? Okay. Alright, let's come back and scout. We're going to need to build a fourth. We may need to build a fourth city here. Oh, hello. We're gonna. Okay. We're gonna have something else to pick off. I suspect what they'll do is they'll send their settler over to that that region that was recommended by the AI. And so that will be either another city for us. Which is possible because we're on the coast here, so there is some room for it. So maybe that's going to be okay. But... Right, so... Can we get straight through? We can. Okay. And then here's a hunt. Almost. So it's something they're a pocket dairy. We got 30, so we'll waste 6. You know, we don't have a fortune, but we're getting smashed on. It's too much now. It's going to be 58. Well, I think next turn we will go ahead and buy that because we are kind of getting whacked on our what to take here. It's got to be the feast, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, and then I think we're a dwelling. Let's throw the grain back in. We may as well. We're going to get a warning. It's only missing 1 turn of accelerant on the grain store. I think that's okay because we're not fully using that grain right now. Okay, so there's definitely going to be conflict with the Italians, and I think we're okay with that. So So we're going to waste 6, so we'll take the 24 hit, and that's done. And then what about Sterzine? It's 31. You know what, let's just jump straight on that as well. So this is really going to help our yeah, there we go. So we're back at 12. Yeah, went back up by 10, and then we'll go up by another 10. You can see rounding helps you in knowledge, in science, whereas it doesn't in production. So, okay, we're still 17 turns from. Let's turn this guy on. Not going to have any accelerants until we grow into that T. So probably I think what I'm looking at now is that's probably some military. Build the granary here. So you can see now we're at 35 health. Which is minus 10% growth. So if we go back to Byzantium, once those jewels come off, we'll be able to plug in our grain store, and you'll see that we get a good old bump from that. We won't quite get plus 30 because it is still negative. Health is still negative. Yeah, it's minus 10%, but we're going to get a really decent bump. You can see it'll go to 87. Yeah, which 87 is a good clip. When I finish the I did something stupid. Oops, didn't mean that. If you have a amenity spare, you can take them out and put them back in the same turn. You won't lose them. But if you don't have any amenities spare, you can't do that. I thought I had an amenity, I was safe to do that, but I wasn't. So, what did we decide to build? We decided. What did we decide? I mean, we need a logging camp, don't we? Going to pivot accelerant at the moment. And yeah, we've got 2 turns and we'll switch into the grain store. Oh, fermenting pit is an option. That's actually it. Okay, if we're going to do that, let's throw a workshop. I really want these here because I'm going to want stone pits. Possibly not. Okay, so let's throw a workshop down. Is that what we want to do? It kind of isn't it? Maybe we can get away with just putting the fermenting pit in there. I mean, it's not going to be... We save 25, so by having a workshop we have a 25% increase in our production, so we can we're going to be able to build it that much faster. And the workshop's useful, so I think I don't think we put in our I think let's just go ahead and do that. Let's build the workshop while we've got the additional production that's online. And yeah, then we can... I mean, should we be doing that? No, we need some more timber. So yeah, we won't... I was thinking, should we do that here? And we will put a fermenting pit in Constantinopolis, but let's get the timber. It's pretty low, so yeah. Oh, those fish. Wow. Interesting. So we are turn 51. I'm wondering whether this isn't a good spot to put a cut in. We've done quite a lot. I think we're well positioned. Obviously we're not anywhere near anything, but Cesare is not really going that well, I wouldn't have said, after that war. Okay, he's building back up a little bit, but yeah, so I think what I might do is actually put a cut in here, and yeah, thanks for watching.